So, do you want to get married? That was it. That was how I popped the question to the woman who would become my wife. Not only did I overwhelm her with my words, I chose the most romantic setting imaginable to propose marriage. The airport baggage claim in Cleveland, Ohio. Right there amidst the blaring luggage arrival alarms, tumbling suitcases, and the occasional disembodied voice reminding me not to park in front of the terminal. I made my move. And she could not have been more impressed. "What?" she said. I knew she was just blown away by my romantic technique, so I repeated the question to help her recover from her overwhelming surge of joy. I mean, what single mother of a 2-year-old greeting a comedian she had met at a performance just a few months earlier wouldn't be overjoyed at the idea of marriage? After all, I had played dad for a week in Los Angeles since then and felt I could do this marriage and parenting thing. No problem. "I love you, Tammy, and I love Aaron. Do you want to get married?" I inhaled confidently as I reached for my luggage, already a little concerned that she might not be able to contain her joy. I decided I wanted to marry her on that flight from L.A. to Cleveland in between a nap and a bag of peanuts. You know, you and me. I wanted to clarify the situation in case she didn't know who the players were. There I was, with no plan and no ring. And by the way, if you are a young single man listening to this, for the love of God, have a plan and a ring. I did smuggle a bag of peanuts off the plane, so in a pinch I thought I could offer her those instead of a ring, but I was pretty confident I wouldn't need to. Obviously, romance courses through every vein in my body. I didn't know what to expect in the form of a response, never having asked anyone that question before, but I have seen movies, and Tammy's reaction to my inquiry, I have to admit, was a tad perplexing. "Yeah, I guess if that's what you want." That's what she said. That's a direct quote. And she said it so matter-of-factly, as if I'd asked her if she wanted to eat breakfast at McDonald's. That's how excited she was at the prospect of spending the rest of her life with me. "You want to get married and raise a family with me until death do us part? I guess, if that's what you want. It's no difference." Okay, cool, I guess. I gave her a hug and a kiss, and we were officially engaged. The luggage came, and we headed out to McDonald's for breakfast. I can tell you this, Tammy had no idea how much baggage she actually picked up that day. Turns out, I was quite a catch. Fast forward 8 years, and I found myself once again meeting her at baggage claim. But this airport was in Phoenix, Arizona, and things felt really different. 2 days earlier, I dropped her off at that airport so she could visit a friend in California. But when I awoke the next morning, something didn't feel right. On a whim, I called American Express and asked if my credit card was being used and where. That's how I found out my wife was in a hotel room somewhere in Southern California with another man. I actually called the room and she answered the phone. Tammy and I had been planning on getting divorced for quite some time, but we had never gotten around to actually signing the papers. Instead, I had tossed them into a junk drawer, and we'd been sleeping in different rooms for most of the 18 months since then. So while I shouldn't have been totally shocked that this was the turn events had taken, I was, and I was livid. Tammy couldn't arrange a flight until 8 a.m. the next day, so I had 24 hours to marinate in my fury. Finally, after 8 painful years of marriage in which I had felt like a complete failure, she was finally the bad guy. Had she come home that night, we would not be married today. I am sure of it. And even though I had no relationship with God at the time, I believe it was His plan to visit me that night and take me through a long, overdue soul-searching. Every time I thought, how could she? Another memory of a time I had shamed, humiliated, or treated Tammy as inferior surfaced. Remember the time in Boston when you did that? Remember the time in New Jersey when you said this? Remember the night in Phoenix when you didn't say what you knew you should have? The more I remembered, the less angry I became. Try as I might to stay angry, I couldn't. It was odd, because anger was the one emotion I knew well. As Tammy often said, anger was my gift to the world. I had a close personal relationship with it. But that night, I just couldn't stay angry. That night was a history lesson that taught me the kind of husband I had been to my wife, and it wasn't pretty. As I lay there staring at the ceiling, slowly I stopped asking how could she, and began realizing how could she not.